Scottish Premiership has been dominated by two clubs for over 30 years now. And today's rebuild, we take over the last team to win the Scottish top flight since Rangers and Celtic's dominance. A place which is closer to Norway than it is to where I'm from in Plymouth, and a former European Cup Winners' Cup champion under the best football manager that has ever have lived, Sir Alex Ferguson. Today, we're going to rebuild Aberdeen. Right then, we're back. Dad, Aberdeen. Now, you're quarter Scottish.
I am, yes.
I'm quite intrigued with this. I know there's a lot of Scottish people who are anticipating us doing a Scottish League team, and we didn't really tease out who we're going to be doing. This is very off the cuff. Target for me, please.
I want to go for, we've been doing well lately, I think, so I want to go for a little bit of a bigger target. I want to go for 1,400.
Ooh, right, okay, 1,400. I think we can definitely do that. Now, before we get into the Aberdeen, you've been doing your research, a lot of facts and stuff for us coming up, so make sure you do not go anywhere and you don't miss any of them. We're going to pick a team for 2 weeks' time. I'm going to go with West Ham. I think I can do a very good job here with West Ham. What do you think we should go for?
I've been reading through your comments, I do quite often, just to see what people have been saying and all that. And there's a lot of people out there who wants us to do Sunderland. So, for you lot who's been asking for that, I want to go with Sunderland. Yeah,
of course, I picked Sunderland a couple of weeks ago, but I went with Forest when we did it, which was your choice. We had a few more Forest than we did Sunderland, so I've obviously seen the comments as well. There were a lot of Sunderland fans. Sunderland or West Ham, let us know down in the comments for the video in 2 weeks' time. So, here we are, the season that we simmed before. Of course, if this is brand new to you, the reason why we simulate a full season first is just to see how the ground works, and it completely randomizes all player prices and stuff, and we get up to where we are. This is an updated database as well, so any updated players will be moved to certain clubs, including, Aguero at Barcelona, for example, and Messi PSG, and of course CR7 at Manchester United. I can't believe we're talking about that. But Aberdeen, they finished where I would expect them to finish, in third place. So European spot, miles ahead of fourth, nowhere near second. This is where I think Aberdeen are expected to be, to be honest. As a success, Dad, what would you say a success would be for Aberdeen for a 5-year rebuild? Because that's what we're doing today.
Well, Aberdeen are the last team to win the league.
Other than those two.
Yeah. So, we've got to win the league, haven't we?
We've got to win the league. Fair enough.
But I want to win a European trophy, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
With Aberdeen?
Yes.
In only 5 years?
Yes.
All right, okay, we'll see how that goes.
I'll settle for the Europa Cup, but I would like to win a European Cup.
Yeah, I mean, no spoilers, but we've done it with smaller clubs.
If Sir Alex can do it, we can do it.
I suppose, yeah. I mean,
that's what it's got to be about.
Uncanny comparison between ourselves and Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's take a look then at our first season as Aberdeen manager. So as you can see, we took over from Stephen Glass on the 1st of June 2021 after him only really having a year in charge. This is our team now. Transfer budget wise, it turns out that Aberdeen do not have a lot of money, and we might be struggling here for a few seasons. We only have 200k left, but I have signed some players. We have dipped into the loan market because it's our only way really of finding any players. And the trouble is, anybody who is Scottish and half decent, as soon as you put a bid in for Aberdeen, Rangers or Celtic, they go, whoa, we don't want you getting any better with any Scottish players. They take them, and that might be a reoccurring thing. And the reason why Scottish fans might be like, why aren't you signing as many Scottish players? That is probably my excuse, to be honest. They go to Celtic or Rangers.
Let's be honest, if you are a Scottish person, you want to play for your top 2 teams.
And they're coming in for them, But Nicky Devlin was a Scottish player I did manage to pick up. Now, I don't know how much Nicky Devlin's going to play in the whole of this rebuild, but he is very much good enough to play at least for the first couple of years. We've picked him up from Livingston for 220k, so it's a good start, I think, using a good amount of our transfer budget. Reese Williams is a loan player that I have brought in, 20 years of age from Liverpool, 6'6". So as soon as I seen that and how good he is, I thought that he is coming to our club, because I know for a fact the corner routine that I always implement is so good for players who are as tall as him, and he has decent heading, good jump and reach. So, and he's a decent defender, like I mentioned, good passing, everything I like about Reese he has. So, Anthony Ilanga. Now this guy, during the international break, when we were actually recording this, has just scored a brace for Sweden. on his Swedish debut.
Yeah.
He plays Manchester United, of course, my favourite club, and we might be mentioning a certain Manchester United manager later on when we talk about Dad's memories, players and managers. And he has physicals which are great in this league. Good dribbling is just his mentals that let him down, but of course he's only 19. Loan deal to bring him in for one season. This is who I think will score us a lot of goals this season, Liam Delap. He has scored so many goals at youth range, and I think just in the match engine he works really well. Great physicals, decent mentals for an 18-year-old, good for striking the ball, finishing 14, first touch 12, work rate at 15. He's got everything that we like about in a striker. He's only 18 years of age. So bringing him in from the champions. To look back though, we have signed a couple of others players as well. Michael Duffy was my first signing. He is a guy who can play on both wings, and I picked him up from the Irish League because he's probably the best Irish player in those leagues as well, and he didn't cost us much at all. He is going to play in this first season too. I think he's very much capable. He can play on both wings, maybe as a winger or an inside forward. And for 205k, silly not to.
Yeah.
16 games, 5 goals, 4 assists, a very high average rating. I know it is just the Irish League.
That's the best team in that league as well.
It is as well, yeah, correct. So maybe he can do us a job for sure. So the season preview still sees us at 3rd place, but only 25-1. Of course, we have Rangers and Celtic in the league who tend to be favourites to win this. We do take a look at competitions though. We are of course in the Europa League. We have to qualify for it first though against Rangers.
Oh, Christ.
And so the tactics, I have basically just built a very positive 4-3-3.
I agree with the 3 that you're keeping in, definitely.
These are our strong players.
Yeah.
I think we've got to make the most out of them. I don't think we're going to get very far in the Europa League. I can't see us qualifying. So I'm taking a gamble on the fact that we might lose to Rangers, and we can afford to play all of these players all at once this season. Maybe we'll beat them in the next one. Yeah. So Duffy on the right, of course, he's a very capable winger. We have Ilanga on the left as cutting in on the inside, being a very attacking force for Delap up top. I've kept it very basic too. It's literally a tactic I literally just chucked together just this first season, just to see how we do, to be honest. I don't want to take too many risks. I don't want to make it too complicated. We have a couple of players on loan which were already at the club for a couple of seasons. Matty Longstaff being one of them from Newcastle.
Yeah, he's a good player, he is. I like him.
Great midfielder, to be fair, especially in this league. So having a few players like this is definitely going to help. Lewis Ferguson is another man, 21 years of age.
Famous name at Aberdeen.
Exactly. A lot of Aberdeen fans will probably love this guy. I'm thinking he is going to be solid for us, and hopefully we can keep hold of him. He's got a high value though, so if we do lose him to one of the big two who are probably not enjoying us having a good player, we can probably make a little bit of money and reinvest. So a few of our players there that I think will definitely make a big difference for us. Let's see then how we do in our first season. Come on. And so, no surprises where we finished. We finished in 3rd. Again though, we finished very high above Hibernian.
Still not close to, was it?
No, nowhere near.
I wanted to split them, to be honest with you.
A good 15 points behind Rangers, and Celtic actually won the league by a country mile. 13 points there, so very high goals for. I mean, Europa League qualification again. It's just a case of getting into it. Did we get any further in the Europa League? We did. We've got through to the Europa League playoffs, unfortunately. So,
did we beat Rangers then?
Let's take a look. Yes. We beat them 3-0 away, which meant that we qualified 4-3 on aggregate.
So we've done them on their own ground, really?
We've done them on their own ground. So this, I think, is a huge bonus for us. The fact that we managed to beat them 3-0 away and qualify after being 3-1 down at a home leg. So that's huge. But unfortunately, we then come up against a lot stronger teams and then lost in the playoff against Trabzonspor, which was the next team. They beat us 3-1 on aggregate. We then went to the Europa Conference League, though. That league we were talking about. We were knocked out of the group stage. We had St. Gallen and Slavia Prague, so Switzerland and the Czech Republic. And arguably, I thought the biggest team in there, the Romanian team, they actually finished last. So I think, to be honest, it's quite a difficult group, and there's a lot of big teams in this competition, to be honest. So semi-final in the Scottish Cup by St. Mirren. That's disappointing. The Scottish Cup was won by Celtic in the end. So
still wanted to get to the final, don't you? Just give something for the fans, really.
Yeah. So Celtic actually looks like they could have got the treble there. They did. They beat Hearts on penalties there. So bad season for Rangers. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. And arguably we had a better season than Rangers.
Aberdeen in history. This is something I found out the other day. Aberdeen were the first team ever to be knocked out on penalties in a European competition.
There you
go.
There you go, nice stats. That's what people like you bid on these for statistics like that. Very well played. Now, goals-wise, we come back on the 1st of June, and this is obviously my first time I've ever done Scotland. This was a mistake because we can't see Liam Delap's statistics because he goes back before June starts. So it may look like our team is really short, but that's because all of the loan guys has left.
I've already gone, yeah.
So if I do take a look at Liam Delap, and we can see just how many goals he did actually score, because I think it is worth mentioning. He got 18 goals in 38 appearances. It's good, it's not great. He had a very poor average rating. Yeah. And let's take a look at Ilanga as well, because obviously he played a big part into our season too. I actually think he had a better season. Yeah. 14 goals from that wing, 5 assists.
I mean, you know, I'm like with my strikers, I'm a bit disappointed with our striker there when he's scoring 18 goals in 38 games.
I agree.
Already done, yeah.
But it's bringing players into Aberdeen might be the problem.
It is an art. Aberdeen is so far up country as well. There's not many people want to go up there. It's very cold. Yeah. You know, and it's an art place to get players to go to. So I understand why Aberdeen do struggle to get these players in. So, well, that's our challenge, isn't it?
That is the big challenge. Let's take a look who we have brought in the second season. So, finances. We got a little bit more in the bank because we did get to the group stage of the UEFA Conference League. Yeah. However, we weren't given a big budget at all, maybe a couple of million, which I had to play around with because of the wage budget. So when I've actually played around with it, we only ended up with 155k in the transfer budget, and because we had to supplement the wage budget. We do have like 30k in the wage budget left, and I am trying to bring in loan deals again. But it's a toss-up because I could either have a lot of transfer budget but no wages. So I can get offers accepted. They either don't want to come to us at all, or they're like, no, I want 30k, and I'm like, I can only offer you 10k. Yeah. So this is the problem that we're going to have here. So let's take a look at our transfers then. One of them that might still come in is Dylan Levitt. He's a centre midfielder. We're not going to guarantee him coming in, but if he does, he'll probably be a very good starter for us. The Welsh 21-year-old from Manchester United.
Good passing, good first touch, I like him.
Exactly, yeah. But the deal hasn't crossed the line yet, and we still have to start the season, so maybe he won't come in. Yeah. However, we have made some signings, so let's take a look at them. First man coming in is young Harvey Griffiths, 18-year-old from Manchester City. Very much like Dylan Levitt, a good passer of the ball, some decent mental attributes for his age. More of a squad player, I think. We've got like the likes of Lewis Ferguson, Ross McCrory, who I think are better centre midfielders. I'm going to bring this guy in as well to complement them. Another Liverpool loan deal, the 2 loan deals actually, because we brought Reese Williams back for another season, the centre back that we looked at, 6'6". This man, 6'6" as well.
Oh, that's good then.
Both from Liverpool. Billy Cumentio, who I've never heard
of. Should work with each other good then, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. He's not as good mentally, but I think his technicals and his physicals are slightly better.
His tackling's good as well.
19 for jump and reach, and he's 6'6".
That's good then.
I'm expecting a lot of goals from this young French man. Very cheap as well, because he's only on a 2.7 grand a week loan deal, so that's a nice added bonus to that. I brought Liam Delap back.
All right, I'm going to take him to one side, put me arm around him, and see if I can work some wonders with that boy.
Exactly.
We'll get a few more goals out of him.
I always think about when I was a striker and my mistakes. You always used to help me out and correct me, tell me the best situational opportunities to do. I think that could be the same for Liam Delap. So let's hope for more goals than just the 18 that he's provided us. Greg Taylor, though, Celtic's left back, just under £1 million. We have brought him in for. I'm actually really happy with that deal because he's worth £4.3 million left and he's 24. A lot of people are talking about Greg Taylor after Kieran Tierney left being a good replacement for them. So I'm really happy with that signing.
I think it's a good sign for us. A surprise with Celtic letting him go.
I am too. I'm shocked that we've been able to bring him in. He didn't play a lot last season, but the season before he did very well. 7.27 average rating.
Yes, good.
If we can get that out of him, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Michael Craig is just a free transfer that I brought in just for squad players as well. He can play in a few different positions if we need him to, and of course Reese Williams coming into the club. We've seen him last year, but this is the 2 signings that I think might make us a little bit of a game changer. And when I made this signing, I have been toying around with the tactics slightly because we've made those 2 really good centre back signings, and then we signed Bright Ari MB, who is a German centre back from Bayern Munich with a very high potential.
Right.
So he has a high potential range, so it's not fixed, he could be at the lower end. But because we've transferred him in, I feel like we need to play him. Yeah. Because he's going to be better than using the loan deals. We did get him on a free transfer from Bayern Munich. He played 25 games for the second team and done very well last season. I don't know. It could be a massive signing for us. And if not anything, if we do sell him on for a bit of profit, it was a free transfer. Yeah. Florian Keynes is a winger that we have managed to bring in. And both of these signings, by the way, I approached as soon as we got to the end of the season. Didn't want to know us. And then as soon as no other club comes in from, they were like, oh, yeah, go on then. So Florian Kainz is another one, Austrian. Another problem we have had is work permits. Because, of course, we're in the UK. Yeah. Work permits are a struggle. These two were two that are able to get work permits because they've been playing a lot in Germany, which is a high points tally I think it's done on. He played 17 games last season. Didn't do as well, but he's a good player. I think if we bring him into this league, he'll be solid for us. Yeah. Playing on that left-hand side.
Squad player for us as well.
Exactly, instead of Ilanga. So, tactically then, this is what we're going for. It's a little bit mental.
It is a bit, isn't it?
We took a guy out of the centre defensive midfield and we've popped him in the centre defence because we've got 3 really good centre backs now. Yeah. We've pushed the wing backs up a little bit further to give that added support going forward, and we've actually changed this role to an inside forward. We're sticking positive, we're staying kind of as we were last season. It is a bit of a gamble.
We didn't work last season, so we're going to try something different. We still got 3 years after to try and rectify it. Yeah. This could be goldmine. We don't actually know yet. So let's take a look at the Scottish Premier League for a season preview. Yet again, they have us 25-1. We need to be changing that. Before we go any further, Frank Lampard's Rangers manager. No, what happened to CVG?
I know, there's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, I'm a bit confused, to be honest. Let's take a quick look. I think Stevie G, was he sacked? He must have been. He was sacked. Ooh. 3 years into the job, he was sacked. This year as well, in March. So Frank Lampard is now manager. So that's quite funny.
Legend.
That's really quite funny. Okay, before we go on then and see how we do in the second season, results-wise, Dad, what memories do you have of Aberdeen?
Well, being a Scottish team, they're not around the telly very often because they don't show the Scottish football very often. I can remember the cup finals, which would be the European Cup finals in 1983, when obviously Sir Alex Ferguson was there in charge. I can remember just slightly watching the two games. They won the European Cup 2-1 against Real Madrid. Yep. And I can remember a player called Black scoring. Mm-hmm. Eric Black, I think he was scored. He scored in the first game. It was a bad night, absolutely chucking them in rain. Hard game, but I think they deserved to win. I think really, it went to extra time. They scored a good goal in extra time. Boy went down the wing, and then they went on to the Super Cup and they won 2-0 against Hamburg. Oh. But it wasn't Kevin Keegan's Hamburg. He had been there and gone again since then. Yeah. So, but I was touched on the Black where he scored in the first game. He came on as a sub. Yeah. And he ran up. There was a corner. He ran up from the coming on, and he won the header. He got up high, headed it to the back post, and made it come in at the back post and put it squared across the ball. And McGee, I'm sure then, it was McGee. He came in and banged into the net. But there's 2 good games, Drew, I can actually just about remember because it was going back.
I think it was a win 50. Against Real Madrid any time in history is massive. Yeah, definitely. Of course, the most successful European team ever.
Oh yeah.
So Sir Alex Ferguson, even before he went to United, was pulling some unbelievable tricks out.
Oh, some of the players he had there with him, for Scotland, really. Yeah. He had a really good team.
Yeah, he built a good team there.
I'm just going to quickly look down here to see what it was that he actually won, because he won 3 league titles, 4 Scottish Cups, 1 League Cup, one European Cup, and 1 European Super Cup. Yeah. So you're talking about some really good teams that he had with him. Your Gordon Strackens, your Jim Laytons, and your Mark McGee's and all that. And Mark McGee went on to actually manage Aberdeen as well. Oh. So he's a legend there, And what a player. Yeah. I'm a striker manager, going back on all the videos that we do and all that. I did like Mark McGee. Yeah. Good striker.
Considering that Aberdeen had actually only won the league once before that as well. And that was in the 50s, so it's not like Aberdeen, he picked up Aberdeen as like champions and they were already good. Like he had to build that team. Yeah. And somehow winning a European Cup Winners' Cup, that's insane against Real Madrid and obviously the Scottish Cups at the time and everything.
Yeah, so
unbelievable stuff.
That's the only memories I've got sort of Aberdeen, mainly because they didn't show a lot of them on the telly really. Yeah. Scottish football, but they obviously did show those games. So there's a bit of history that I can remember just vaguely watching them 2 games. Yeah. And I can't remember whether they were favourites, which I wouldn't have thought they would have been, not coming against Real Madrid. No. So but it was a little bit of history there for you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. Right, on to the results of season number 2. Right, so the end of the second season. Yeah, and we're actually closer to 4th than what we are 2nd.
Not getting anywhere near them, are we?
No, Frank Lampard's Rangers dominating the league, only losing 2 games. We had a very bang average season by the looks of it. 62 points. Was it the tactic? Was it because we got far in Europe? Yeah. Let's take a look at some of the competitions then. Because we were knocked out of the Europa League in the group stage. So we qualified. That's a positive, I
definitely,
think. But we had a very difficult group. Leicester and Sporting Lisbon. It does look like we beat Astana twice, which 2 teams that we expect to beat. Those are the only 2 games we did win. We did go into the UEFA Conference League, and we were knocked out in the semi-final by Villarreal.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at the fixtures, because European competitions, I'm actually really surprised with how we've done this season.
Yeah.
Quarter-final of the Scottish Cup, only the 2nd round of the Betfred Cup, which I think is like the Carabao Cup version.
Yeah.
So let's take a look then at some European competitions, because like I mentioned, I think we've done quite well here. We had a playoff against Zorya, which I've actually seen live, by the way, against Manchester United. Yeah, right. Zlatan scored a header in that game.
What a player.
Then, exactly, what a player. Then we had the Europa League games. Of course, we beat Astana 1-0 and 4-0. We had a very good game against Leicester there, 6-4 against Leicester. So that's a solid game that we've had. But the teams that we beat going into the UEFA Conference League,
CSK in Moscow.
CSK in Moscow.
Good result that is.
Very good. Only across one leg, which I found quite funny. We then beat FCSB, of course, the former team that was Steaua Bucharest, on penalties. So that's quite a good. We were 2-0 up as well at one point, so that's quite disappointing. We managed to fall away there. Midtjylland.
Yeah, not a bad side.
That's the team that Brentford owns as well. So
they're always there or thereabouts, aren't they?
They're always very good in European competitions, in these types of Europa League. I'm sure there will be a Conference League club as well. And then we drew the first game against Villarreal and only lost 2-1 in extra time, 117 minutes. And we both had a player sent off as well. Ross McCrory and Jeffrey Kondogbia again sent off. So overall, I think we can actually be quite happy with, because
I think the fans would have been happy with us there.
Our league form suffered because of how well we were doing in Europe. And I think they would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
Aberdeen getting to a semi-final of a European competition. That's fine by me.
Yeah, definitely,
But season 3, this is where we need to start rebuilding again, and maybe I think we need to go away from the 3 at the back tactic.
And I think I've got to go away from what I was predicting earlier, and we've got to concentrate on the league. The last couple of seasons, we've got to do something about the league, and let's concentrate on the league more than we do Europe, then I think. Breaking
at least in between those 2 big guys.
Yeah.
Well, before we take a look at season number 3, I'm now an affiliate on Into the AM, so let's have a quick word about them. Yes, Into the AM is a high quality clothing apparel that I have teamed up with again. If you take a look using my link down below in the description at their website, they ship to many different places across the world, and if you purchase something using my link as an affiliate, I will also be paid because of it. So if you feel like sprucing up your wardrobe anytime soon, now is definitely the perfect opportunity. Support Into the AM through the link down in the description, and you also support the channel. Thank you very much. Back to the rebuild. So finances, £11 million. We had an original budget of £2 million. Again, we're not getting a lot from this. So let's take a look at what work I have managed to do. You might have seen there, we have got £0 coming in for I've raided Palmeiras, by the way.
Right.
So basically, where we're at right now is where all the first lot of regens coming in from Brazil are running out of contract. So we have 3 guys coming in January. One being Gabriel Patrick, who's quite a decent right back. We also have this guy, a very decent centre back, 6'4". Again, he's only 18, so he's growing into his role. And João Paulo, another one, 5'11" centre back, maybe, but he has decent potential. But free transfers these are, so you can't argue with them. No. And they're coming in on really low wages too. Alex Flamengo, he looks amazing as a centre midfielder or an attacking midfielder. We're bringing all of these in coming in January, so whether they will play a part, that's down to the assistant manager. And we also have this guy coming in January as well, Sakir Baran, but again, work permit problems. So whether we'll ever see him play for us because of work permits, we're not quite sure. So they're coming in for future. That's decent. What have we done for the here and now though? Well, £5 million on the outs. We've managed to sell. Well, we didn't manage to sell. We unfortunately had to sell Bright Ari MB, first season in. I mean, it looks great as well. He had a great season for us, 36 games, didn't score or assist anything, but £4.5 million.
That's all right.
It is what it is, unfortunately. That was a board decision as well. I was rejecting that, and they come in.
They never do listen to us, do they?
Exactly. So that's a shame. We did loan Dylan Levitt, by the way, and we did get Robbie McCrory, who is a goalkeeper and will be our number one goalkeeper from Rangers. He's kind of like their backup goalkeeper right now. We brought him in. I think he's a decent goalkeeper, so we'll see how he does. But we have gone back to Manchester United. They obviously like us. They're still loaning us players. Isaac Hansen Aaron, who is a young Norwegian talent that they have, 18 years of age, can play.
He looks younger than 18, doesn't he?
I mean, we would be 16 here, obviously, because that's his 16-year-old picture a few seasons in. But yes, he's a very talented youngster. He's got great physicals, can play in a shadow striker role. That's a role I really like. And maybe we will see. Other transfers in. We've got Reese Williams, that centre-back we have loaned for the last 2 seasons, on a free transfer. As a permanent deal. So yeah, he's obviously enjoyed his time here. And he's grown into a decent player. So we're happy with that. Signed a guy from Colchester on a free transfer. Kevin Gonzalez. Plays in a centre attacking midfielder. He's Colombian. I've never heard of him before, but he doesn't look too bad, especially for this league. I think he'd be quite good. a striker from Benfica. Again, Moreira, I've never heard of him. Has decent technicals, like really good technically, and good physicals. Mentally, maybe not so much. 6'2" as well. So,
we can work on that though.
Exactly. Yeah. Fairly professional personality is what I like. This man though, I'm very happy with, and I've actually loaned him out because I wanted to give him first team football before we fully commit to using him.
Right.
Joey Stevens, 18 years of age, a free transfer from Rotherham. Look how good he is for 18. Yeah. I mean, great physicals, of course. Finishing, first touch, all fantastic. Decent mentals as well, 6 foot. I like the look of Joey Stevens, of course. We've got him from Rotherham on free transfer. We've loaned him out to Sheffield Wednesday on a first team regular player, so he's already played 1 game there in the Championship, and of course they play a lot more games, and I think it would be a better standard for Joey.
40s, 42, 43.
Yeah, 46 games that they play at least in a season, so that's great. We've loaned Luka Connell, who is an Irish centre midfielder from Celtic. I think a very good player as well. Surprised when he was on the loan market, and we're going to take advantage of that. Jacob Kaminski, we have got from Bayern Munich, a very capable Polish right or left-sided midfielder. So we're signing a lot of players, but we have spent a little bit of money. We'll take a look at Lewis Nielsen after Camille van der Per, 19 years of age, free transfer. I've got him because he plays a number of positions, although I wouldn't really want him playing centre-back, he's only 5'8". No. So I'm going to have to
set up position just behind him.
Really. I'm going to have to try and work a way of preventing him from playing there. Lewis Nielsen, though, we've spent money on him because he's Scottish and he is a centre-back, a very good centre-back, although his pace might not be. He's more of a backup centre-back, I think, maybe. Good passing, good tackling, good technique. 20 years of age, young Scottish player. I'm struggling to get any of them, to be honest.
Well,
as soon as any of them are half decent, they go to the other 2 clubs. So that's just the way we've got to work around. Tactically, then, we've gone to this. The Aberdeen 4-2-3-1, I'm calling it, very original name. It's basically the same as what we had before, but instead of a player here, we've moved into the shadow striker role. I want to score more goals, and I think that the young lad from Hansen Aaron that we've picked up from Manchester United will be a reason for us to score more goals playing in that shadow striker role. I think he's going to be deadly there, so I think that's great. And we've got a couple players who can also play there as well. Kevin Gonzalez, the guy we got from Colchester, can be a good player in that role. That's the reason why I haven't put him in there. So yes, we've got our 2 centre-backs, the 2 Liverpool centre-backs, because we've managed to get this guy in again on loan for another year, alongside Reese Williams. So I'm happy so far. We've of course got a few strikers who can play up there, as well as Liam Delap is back for another season. He scored 13 goals last year, so it's less than his 18 goals. This is his final year that I'm giving him a go.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do it now, he isn't coming back, unfortunately. The only reason why I keep bringing him back is because he's only on 5k a week.
Yeah.
And Man City are just allowing us to pay just 5k. But he's getting better, attribute-wise, not performance-wise. No. Prediction, do you reckon? We've made a few signings this season.
Yeah, I'm going to put it out there. We're going to split them.
You reckon second place?
Frankie, we're coming for you, boy.
Let's see how we do at the end of the 3rd season. So, we were very close to doing just what you predicted.
That's the closest we got, though, isn't it? That's the closest we got. 2
points, and we lost 2 Rangers right at the end of the season there, 4-2. So that is obviously just changed us completely. If we do take a look, we were second for quite a while at the end of the season there, and at the start as well, but mainly we were third. Celtic, complete domination from Celtic. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Liam Delap, though, what a season he had. Well, 37 goals.
Is it going to be his last season for us then?
It probably will now, because now he's too good to come back. Florian Kainz, though, 7.78 and 20 assists. Luka Connell got a lot of assists as well. So we're doing really well
in the right direction.
We're
going in the right direction.
Competitions-wise, then, let's take a look. We were first round knockout by Lyon in the Europa League, semi-final of the Scottish Cup, quarter-final of the Betfred Cup. We're coming up against them.
Two big teams.
Yeah, we're failing at that hurdle.
That's where you need a bit of luck in the cups, and especially in the Scottish Cups and that. You need a bit of luck to stay away from the top two. Yeah. You need them against each other, and it gives you a chance to get into the final, then, don't you?
Exactly that. Let's take a look at the groups then, because we qualified in Europa League above Feyenoord and Rosenborg.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So Villarreal, of course, the team that knocked us out in the semi-final the season before, and finalists, they're about to play in the final. We finished second behind, 10 points. So I'm happy with that. We won 3 games against Rosenborg and Feyenoord once. We drew against Villarreal, and we lost 2 against Feyenoord and against Villarreal. But Liam Delap is the joint top scorer with Lukaku in this competition.
He'd be happy with that, wouldn't he? You know?
So he's actually scored 58 goals in just 54 appearances. That is mental numbers. Absolutely. 58 goals in 54. So phenomenal stuff from him. After him, we had a couple of 16s there. One of them, Joey Stevens. He's got 16 goals for Sheffield Wednesday. So if we do lose Liam Delap, we've got Joey Stevens. 30 assists in total for Florian Kainz. Absolutely solid numbers as well. And we've finally got our Brazilian guys who have joined us, of course. So they will be playing a lot more in the future, of course, starting next season. So finances, £7 million in bank. Our original budget was 12 million. That could be because we might have sold a couple of people and it's bumped it up a little bit. So let's take a look at some transfers then. Unfortunately, Joey Stevens didn't last too long. We had a contract where he had a minimum fee release clause, and Manchester United and a number of other clubs came in and matched that, £8 million. So it's totaling up, but unfortunately, he won't be our player. Florian Kainz as well has also left the club, £3.4 million. So we've had
a problem with your team like this, isn't it? You just lose your best players every time.
Yeah, but we have spent 25 million this season, a very huge amount. Let's take a look, because we have started loaning a couple of players from Arsenal and Juve. Filbert Thomas, it's a regen, 19 years of age, incredible centre attacking midfielder. I mean, some really good attributes there. Shadow striker role is what I'm thinking when I look at this guy.
Yes, definitely.
I've also signed Nicolo Vila, who can also play in that role too. Maybe he's not as good, but a very good backup to say the least. And the reason why I'm bringing them both in is because their wages are so low and they're not charging us anything. I might as well bring him in for squad depth. So we're taking advantage of that. The other players that we have managed to bring in, Paulo Benge is a right back. We've managed to pick this guy up from Braga on a release clause £1.1 million deal. It is a case again of getting players who are capable of getting a work permit or actually want to come to Aberdeen. So the standard of players are slightly increasing, but it's not getting to the level that we're expecting, of course, where we're signing Haaland or, for example, and the world's best players. So we're just bringing in players that we can physically bring in. James Garner is going to be a good squad player for Manchester United, a young centre midfielder, very capable on a free transfer. Max Lowe is another one on the left-hand side to give Greg Taylor a bit of a run for his money and give him, because I actually think this guy could be better, to be honest. 27 years of age. I'm really happy with this signing. Keane Lewis Potter, who I think will replace Florian Kainz. We picked him up on a free transfer. He's already worth 13 million. So
good squad player. The positions he can play in as well.
Exactly, solid all-rounder. Coming from the whole youth academy as well, and has had some really good seasons with them.
He scored a few goals as well on his thing.
The fact that we managed to pick him up and he wanted to come to us, I'm very happy with. But then we went and just spent a lot of money. And the reason for it, we had the money, but we cannot sign any players that are like 2-3 million, because either they don't want to come to us or they're just nowhere near as good. So we've had to go the next level and spend more money. Malcolm Pilkington is a solid player who can play either up front or on the wing. Maybe I'm thinking playing up front to begin with, because he is incredible. But on that left-hand side, he is left-footed, maybe as a winger, great physicals. And then I went and signed Andy Craig the day after. Andy Craig, £8 million, 18 for his finishing. Good determination, good flair, good physicals.
Here's your striker.
Here's our striker.
There's the boy.
good off the ball. I don't know. I think we could be in for a very good season here for our 4th season. So tactically, this is how we're looking. I'm sticking Pilkington on the left. I'm sticking Lewis Potter on the right. The rest of the team, I'm leaving it to the assistant manager to kind of just let him go. Philbert Thomas maybe in that shadow striker role. Andy Craig in that striker role, who's the shadow striker and the striker role. Jacob Kaminski comes back for another season from Bayern Munich, a good squad player again, like we mentioned. This could be our year now. We've got all the Brazilians coming in who we can play a full season with. They're looking fantastic. I'm hotly anticipating breaking
good squad here, I think. Yeah, good squad here.
I agree. So, what is your predictions before we take a look at your players, managers, and fans?
Well, I just want to split them. I'd like to win the league.
Yeah. Let's take a look at competitions then. Let's see what they think, because season preview still puts us in 3rd.
They're going to put us third every time, aren't
but
they?
Closer.
Yeah.
Closer. 12-1. We've halved that. We've halved what it was before. They still reckon Rangers are top. We've got one player in there, in João Paulo, our centre-back. So, Dad, before we take a look at the end of Season 4, the results, players, fans, managers, what do you have for us?
Start with the players. I'm going to start right at the top. Willie Miller, well-known player. 797 appearances. But I've also got to put in there a player you probably wouldn't have heard of, because I haven't heard of him neither. Joe Harper scored the most goals for Aberdeen. 205 goals. But then I'll go back to the players we've heard of, probably Alex McLeish.
Yeah.
Jim Leighton. Best Scottish goalkeeper I've ever known.
Oh, really?
Scotland are not well known for their goalkeepers. What a keeper he was.
Yeah.
And I want to say that he played for United.
Oh, really? Oh, yes, I know. Yeah, they signed him and played him in an FA Cup game.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then you got Gordon Strachan.
Of course,
What a player. And we touched on him earlier, Mark McGee, player and manager. So then you got your managers. You got to start off with Sir Alex Ferguson, and then you obviously got Mark McGee. Other manager that I've actually heard of was Greg Brown. I'm sure Greg Brown went on to manage Scotland.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but for some reason in my head it tells me he did. And then you got Willie Miller as well, is the managers that I know. Few of the history things I'm going to touch on really. Since 1905, they were formed in 1903, Aberdeen, and since 1905, when they got into the top league, they've never been relegated.
That's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
That is a big achievement.
It's a bigger achievement because in the 1999 and 2000 season, they finished bottom of the league.
How did they get away with that then?
Because the Scottish FA decided to make the top league a bigger league with 2 more teams in it.
So they were incredibly lucky.
So they went into a playoff.
Yeah, which is how you get relegated in the Scottish League at the minute, isn't it?
And Falkirk ground wasn't good enough to be in the top league, so Aberdeen were automatically put back into the top league.
That is mental.
So they were lucky there.
Yeah, they were very lucky. I mean, still though, for they probably deserve that luck because of how long that they've managed to achieve
100%
doing that. And what I do find quite weird is you say that they were founded in 1903. Their stadium's been around longer than the actual club.
Yeah, definitely.
It's quite mental. 1899.
Yeah, 1899. Yeah, they've always played in red since 1939.
Yeah,
but they played in a black and gold stripes. And they were called the Wasps then, as a nickname.
Really? Yeah.
They're called the Dons now.
Yeah.
But their nickname then was the Wasps. The Dons, I've looked it up. There's so many different things they say they're called the Dons.
Yeah.
The main one that seems to keep popping up was it's something to do with a slang word for teachers.
Right. Okay.
Because when the team started off, they had a lot of teachers playing for them.
Yeah.
And it's the university in Aberdeen. So that's where I think it's come from. But the viewers might find something that's a different reason why they're called the Dons.
Yeah.
But that seemed to be the one that was popping up all the time on that one. When they were actually formed, there's 3 teams in Aberdeen, and they brought them together and formed one team.
Oh, okay.
And it was Aberdeen, Victoria United, and Orion.
Okay, so were they all like kind of like a non-league team and built to be in the league?
To go into the and that's what they've done. When they formed the 3 teams, they went into one of the lower leagues. I think it was like Division 2 back then, and then they took them 2 seasons to get into that top league.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the history comes from. That Aberdeen's ground was the first ground, all-seater ground in Scotland.
Yeah.
And undercover, so all the seats were undercover as well. But also, it's something that we've touched on before, or I touched on before with history. Aberdeen was the first ground in Great Britain to have dugouts.
Really?
Yes. Now, I did say back along in one of our other videos that Everton were the first British side to have dugouts.
Well, you said, actually, I'm going to save you here, because you said they were the first ground in the UK to have dugouts, floodlights and undersaw heating as a 3.
Yeah.
Because I know somebody left a comment in that video saying, actually, it was this. But I was like, no, what Dad actually said was as a 3, all of them.
But that person, I remember that comment coming. I looked it up, and that person who brought that comment was correct.
Yeah.
I think he said Southampton.
Yeah, so it
floodlights.
had floodlights first, yeah.
And he was right.
But as a 3, as all of them
Everton
together.
was. But that's where Everton got the dugout. They came up to Aberdeen to play in a friendly.
Okay.
And they looked at dugouts and they went back to their ground and put dugouts in.
That's mental, isn't
it? And
it?
it was Donald Coleman in 1923.
Right, okay.
And he was doing a survey thing on the players and watching them, and he was getting wet all the time. It was cold up there, so he thought, I've got to build something to cover me over. And he built a dugout. And that was the year that Everton came up and played them in a friendly, and they thought, that's brilliant, we'll do that, and they brought it back to there.
Still the idea of a dugout.
Yeah, so...
Don't you think it's mental, though, that back then they were literally all just stood there like plums in the rain?
Yeah.
Just going, I can't believe every time we got to stand here and just get wet. Before we actually take a look at results for Season 4, when we would mention the stadium then, I clicked on the stadium to have a look at it. We've got a new stadium and I didn't even realise. So the Kingsford Stadium has been built in Aberdeen during this simulation, and here it is, a 20,000 capacity stadium. So we say goodbye to the Pittodrie.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, so 1899 that was built, and now we are now playing in this one, and it doesn't actually have a year built, so we can't really see when the Kingsford Stadium was built. But
I'll be honest with you as well, when I was looking up the history of Aberdeen and that, they applied for planning permission to build a new stadium quite a few times. And they had permission to do it, they just couldn't afford to do it.
Ah, right. So maybe, the European football, priority straight Aberdeen board. We want some transfers to bring in to be a better team to win the league, and yet you're trying. There was nothing wrong with that stadium.
No.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm disappointed. We're now playing at the Kingsford Stadium. Unfortunately, Aberdeen fans. Anyway, let's take a look at the end of Season 4.
Come on.
And so, we have done it. We've split the 2. And look
just
how
missed.
close we were.
Oh, that second to last game.
Yeah.
That's cost us the league, isn't it?
Yeah, that has cost us the league.
Don't tell me it was against Rangers.
It was against Rangers. 4-0.
No.
6-pointer. We win that, we win the league. We win that game, we win the league. Yeah. It's disappointing. We were miles ahead of Celtic, absolutely miles ahead of them.
We had a better goal difference than everybody as well.
Huge better goal difference. Frank Lampard's Rangers. Is he still there? He's still there. Bloody Frank Lampard. Yeah. Steven Gerrard couldn't have done that, I bet. But yeah, unfortunately for us, it wasn't to be. We drew a game close to the end, and then we lost to Rangers.
It's a step. It's a step, though, isn't it? It's a step closer. The fans would have been happy with that, I think.
It is, yeah. It does mean we get qualification for the Champions League next year, so that's a positive.
Where were we the whole season over that?
Let's take a look, because we absolutely dominated it. We did drop down to 3rd once for a couple of games.
When you're saying the last game cost us, that's what cost us really. That mid-season drop.
Yeah, a draw there to Hibs.
How were we doing in the European competition? Were we already been playing a lot in the European Championship?
Around this time. Yeah. Well, let's take a look.
That could have cost us as well, couldn't it?
Competitions. We got to the Europa League 2nd round knockout, but won 2 cups.
Get in.
The Betfred Cup, the Scottish Cup. We are winners of both.
I'm happy now.
Yeah?
2nd in the league, double cups. That's good for the fans.
Exactly. Let's take a look then at this win, because we have managed to beat Falkirk 2-1 in the final. So again, that luck we mentioned.
Falkirk done us 2 favours, didn't they? Kept us in the league, in the top league, and then let us win the cup.
Thank you, Falkirk. So we've managed to avoid those difficult teams. And Celtic, we beat 3-2 in the final.
That's a better
sweeter, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's sweeter.
One, yes.
So that happens quite early on in the season, I think, the Betfred Cup.
Yeah, it does,
that's an early win for us to keep momentum going, and the Scottish Cup's towards the end of the season. So let's take a look then at all of these competitions then and see how we've managed to achieve this. So the Scottish Cup, we actually went and beat both Celtic and Rangers on our way to the final. So we mentioned avoiding these teams for luck. We didn't need it. No. We went out and beat them.
We deserved to win then.
Exactly. We beat Kilmarnock on the way as well. Quite a big
Rangers
Scottish
in
team.
The semi-final.
Rangers in the semis after extra time. 2-1 in 4 rounds. We won 2-1. Great stuff. Let's take a look at the other cup competitions then. The League Cup, where we also beat Rangers in the semi-final.
Come on.
Yeah,
no one likes losing in the semis.
We might have lost them in the league, but imagine if we actually went went and won that league and beat them in that final game. Rangers fans would have been crying.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Europa League, we managed to qualify by beating Molde 3-0 and 1-0. We then beat Sporting Lisbon, who had beaten us before. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Drawing against them as well. Moscow, the team that we played before. Yeah, well, we drew 2-2, lost 2-1.
Oh, right.
Levski Sofia, though, we beat them 2-0 both times. And then we beat Cologne 3-0 before losing 4-0.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with that.
3-0 up.
Losing 4-0 at home. At home, at our new ground. It's because we're not used to the new ground. We filled it out as well, 20,000. They should be giving us more fans.
We probably being 3-0 up, being at home, we went into that game too confident, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens, doesn't it?
4-0 loss. So unfortunate. Let's take a look. The final was won by Monaco, beating Villarreal. So, yeah, it's disappointing. Cologne, they didn't quite get there. Where did they finish?
But a good season.
Yeah, they've come up against Porto next, so it might have been a difficult game in the quarters still. But yeah, what a season. Let's take a look then. Goals-wise, Andy Craig, he's been scoring a lot of goals, Dad. Yeah. 49 in 57 games. Yeah, so
that's what we put him there. Really.
Yeah, Liam Delap, we might have done well in that final season, but Andy Craig, we spent the money on him. It was well worth it. Yeah. 37 goals in just 38 games in the league alone.
This is what happens. You fill those positions, you score goals, you're going to win games.
Yeah, exactly. So solid for us, and he's Scottish, by the way. I didn't mention that. He's Scottish as well. He come through the Stoke Youth Academy, but he is Scottish, so that's great for us. Lewis Ferguson, by the way, is turned into an incredible player, playing in centre midfield and scoring 20 goals and getting 11 assists. I don't know why he's penalty taken, maybe. Pilkington on the left got his 16 goals, 13 assists. Keane Lewis Potter getting us 12 goals, 21 assists.
That's good as well, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Ross McCrory, I think I was playing the other centre mid role, maybe at right wing back, possibly. 12 goals and 8 assists. So overall, solid season. Yeah. Very happy with that. Let's take a look at the Season 5 transfers. So, of course, we spent a lot of money last time. We were given £8 million for this season. We have £5 million left in the bank. Transfer-wise, let's take a look. We're rejecting a lot of offers, by the way, from other clubs. I didn't sell any players. I managed to keep hold of all of my players. On the ins, we have spent big on one player. £10 million almost on Trim Hegdal. Again, work permit issues. On that left, I think he's going to be a solid left-sided player for us. Greg Taylor, if we want to get to the next level, he's not quite there. We did sign somebody else to give him a little bit of backup, but this guy, I think, takes our team. Is the only weakness in our team was our left back. Yeah. I think that we could afford to bring in, and I think this guy is more than capable of doing a very good job there. Norwegian 19-year-old that we have picked up from Molde. We have managed to sign Lionel Menezes, who he looks homeless, to be honest.
We've seen him before, though, haven't we?
Yeah, 18 years of age, Colombian, very cheap player to play on that left-hand side as like a backup player, of course. Really good physicals, solid all-rounder. Has played quite a couple of seasons and doing okay, to be honest. So, yeah, bring him in for quite a cheap price. Omer Salet is a free transfer that we have brought in. Plays at centre-back, a real-life player, of course, you can see. 25 years of age. Solid player, to be honest. We picked him up from Red Bull Salzburg. He left there, and we picked him up during the transfer window when he was out of contract, had no club. We brought him in. Philbert Thomas, we brought him back. Our shadow striker from last season. Yeah. He's got better, so we might as well keep playing him, keep using him. And finally, Fraser Sharp is a young Scottish 21-year-old who's going to be a backup striker for us this season. Solid player from Burnley. Hasn't really played a lot. He played in the Championship last year, 38 games and scored 11 goals.
That's good in that Championship. It's an odd league, isn't it?
For an 18-year-old as well. Not for a 20-year-old, sorry. Not bad at all. So, yeah, he's going to be a backup striker for us, for Andy Craig. So, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the signings that we have made. Tactically, we're looking like this. We're keeping pretty much as we were. Now that we've got a good backup, the young Colombian on that left-hand side, I don't have to fill that role now. It can be used and played around with, but we have got Craig, Thomas, Lewis Potter and Hegdal, who I want starting every single game. I think they are the key focal points of what will win us games, especially like playing as having a really good wing back in these leagues. I think makes a massive difference. Yeah. And I'm hoping we see a lot of assists from Hegdal. We've got so many good. I mean, Lewis Ferguson at one point wanted to leave during this simulation, was set on leaving, and we've managed to keep him. And he is going to be an unbelievable centre midfielder for us again this season. 16 goals, 18, just in the league as well.
Yeah.
It was 10 penalties, but it doesn't matter. It
doesn't
doesn't matter. He's
still
been
got to put
solid
the ball
for
in the
us.
back of the net, isn't he?
Exactly. I think he's also our captain too. So El Capitano is doing the work for us. We've got our Brazilians at centre back and at the right back position. I'm excited. What do you think, Dad? The final season, what are you anticipating for us to finish?
We're going to win it. We're going to win it.
You think we're going to win it? Okay,
yes,
let's take a look. The Scottish Premier League, they have us as a season preview, still in third.
Get out of it.
But look how close it is now, 4-1.
We finished second last season and nearly won it.
Yeah, won both cups.
Yeah.
And they still think we are not going to win it over Celtic, 13-5 that they are. Right, it's time to prove them wrong though. Let's see how we do in the final season of the Aberdeen rebuild. And no 1 point in it. So close. And look how bad we were at the end of the season as well. Yeah, it's so disappointing, to be honest. To be beaten by a point, we had a better goal difference. They lost in the last game of the season as well, so it was a little bit further.
Yeah, we chucked it away the 2 games before that.
We did chuck it away. There was 2 games. Falkirk and Rangers. Falkirk
done us 2 favours over the years and then done us the last year.
We drew against Celtic as well, which obviously wouldn't have helped. If we beat Celtic, we would have carried on and won the league. Yeah, so disappointing. Celtic were actually quite close as well. It's such a close. This must have been the most exciting Scottish league ever.
Definitely,
With the 3, I mean, correct me if any Scottish fans are watching. If you remember a better Scottish league ending where it had like more than 3 teams at least managing to go for it.
Won it all. Well, one of them could have won it the last couple of games.
Look how much we dominated.
Down all over the place, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and there's Rangers and Celtic were top at the very start, to be honest. And then, of course, when we dropped off down into third, they took over for a little while and were there or thereabouts the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what a close championship that we had, the Scottish Premiership. We made it interesting, to say the least, because I think the last couple of years it's been very predictable, and we've made it very much a lot more interesting going into it. But Andy Craig picking up 29 goals throughout the season, and then Thomas picking up 20 goals as well. Keane Lewis Potter 17 goals, and Alex, our centre midfielder, picking up 15, and he is fantastic now, by the way. Another couple of seasons and we would win this league easily, because all these young Brazilians that we're picking up are amazing. It would just be a case of keeping hold of them. But we have some other competitions that we are a part of. How did we do? Well, we actually got to the knockout rounds of the Champions League.
Hey, ain't bad.
The Champions League. I mean, the cups we were terrible in, unfortunately. 5th round we're knocked out by Hamilton, and semi-final knocked out by Celtic.
Likes losing in the semis.
No, but
we got knocked out by Man United.
That's not bad at all, is it?
No, I'm happy with that.
Let's take a look at the group stage of this, because I mean, the fact that we managed to get into the Champions League to begin with is great. The qualifying rounds, obviously, that we had to go through, but we had a group of Benfica, Lazio, and Club Brugge, and we still qualified from that.
That's hell of an hard league.
And look how close it was as well. We finished on 8 points.
Yeah.
The other 2 finished on 6. It was so close. We won, drew, and lost 2 games each. So we drew against Club Brugge and Lazio. We lost against Lazio and Benfica, and yet Lazio still finished bottom. They've got to feel hard done by for sure.
Definitely,
So yeah, what a fantastic season. The path that we actually got into the Champions League is quite an interesting one as well. Banica Strava, we beat them 5-0 and 2-0. But Dynamo Zagreb, we beat them 4-1 away. That's a huge game. Then we went and beat Ajax. Both legs, 3-1, 4-2.
That's hell of a result.
Hell of a result. You are correct. What a path that we had into the Champions League group stage, and we've managed to pull off some unbelievable results there. Manchester United, the home game,
4 each.
4-4.
God, but our fans loved that game.
I'm really hoping, I mean, this is obviously like 5 years in the future, I'm really hoping Sir Alex was still alive and he was there enjoying that game up in Aberdeen Stadium. Of course, it's a different ground because screw you, Kingsford Stadium. But I mean,
he would
what a time. He would have loved that.
He wouldn't mind that, actually, coming up to there and enjoying 4 each.
No, that would have been great.
He would have enjoyed that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then back to Old Trafford,
do the business.
4-0. But still, I mean, overall, Dad.
Marcus Rashford banged in 2 as well.
He did. Overall, do you consider that a massive success, a good success, average, underperforming? What do you think?
I'm going to go for average. Our 4th season, coming 2nd in the league and winning the 2 cups.
Yeah.
We done well. We touched the European competition, so not too bad. Got a lot of money in for it, but yeah, I would say average. Really, I'm disappointed we didn't win the league.
Yeah.
If we'd won the league, I think with the 4th season, I'd have been really pleased with that. But
yeah.
I would say average.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, to be honest. And I think our adventures in the Champions League were probably the reason why the league might have been a bit of a struggle, to be honest. Because, if we think about it, at this point, look how many greens we had.
Yeah.
In the mid-season,
yeah,
and then we got to the end of the season and we lose a couple of games there.
When you think at the beginning of that season as well, we had to play a lot of games to qualify.
Yeah.
So it's a long season for us then, and you always find the teams that start off really early in the season always fade away at the end of the season. Don't they?
November time where we lost 2 games there, which we should have won. Yeah. Though that's when we're playing group stages of the Champions League in November.
Yeah.
So mid-November there, that's cost us there. A couple of draws there. Like we didn't go with a win for 4 games.
Yeah. That. You could say those 4 games probably.
That's
when you look who
every
we played.
Single one we should have won.
Yeah. When you look at who we played as well, 3 points from 2 of those games, we'd have won the league.
Exactly that. We only lost the league by 1 point.
Yeah.
Very sad that unfortunately happened, but overall I'm very happy with what we've achieved here. I think Aberdeen
I hope the fans are happy with us.
Are a massive club in Scotland. Next time though, what do you think? Are people going to vote for West Ham? Are they going to vote for Sunderland? That's what you need to let us know down in the comments. Dad, thank you very much.
Don't forget.
What is the like target again?
1,400 I want.
1,400.
And keep your comments coming in, because we both read the comments. We both love the comments as well.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much again for joining me, Dad, and I'll see you next Monday for another rebuild. Bye-bye.